first ward.
I was just hoping it.
Do we have a motion to open the public hearing for a local law establishing a rental registry?
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Public hearing is now open. Is anybody signed up to speak?
No, there's not.
Is there anybody wishing to speak regarding the rental registry? Are there any board comments during the public hearing for the rental registry?
Yeah, I have some comments. So the rental registry is something that came out of the Code Task Force Committee. This is something that we worked on for quite some time. It came up into the Code Task Force Committee quite a few years ago. It kind of fell to the wayside because some other things that have popped up. The very first thing that I asked when we put this back in front of the committee to discuss it, I asked our Director of Planning and Development in the Codes Department, do you think this is something that will benefit your department and the town? And his response was absolutely. And that's when the Code Task Force Committee decided to further look into this. All of the meetings were recorded, and you can review the minutes of our meetings to back all of this up as well. The Code Task Force Committee voted unanimously to present this law to the board. The committee is comprised of the head of the Codes Department, 2 town councilors, myself and the second ward councilor, a member of the Planning and Zoning Board, and a fire chief, who are all voting members. The town attorney is also at these meetings to help draft the laws and give us direction based on information that we request. For the town, this provides us with direct contact for property maintenance to get code violations handled faster, just like the vacant property registry. The big issue is absentee landlords with rentals and vacant properties. It will also give us direct tenant contact to provide them with up-to-date town information quicker. So the whole idea behind this is just to make sure that we have direct points of contact to be able to take care of issues quicker, and then also be able to provide information to new tenants that move into the town. So for the landlords, they do not have to take the time to explain all the town rules to the tenants, as the town can send out new tenant packets giving all this information. Again, absentee landlords don't always know the up-to-date information with what's going on in our town, so we'd be able to help provide that information. This will also provide a better level of safety for the tenants when we're provided with a direct contact to at least one tenant living within the property. The cost of this, which will be set by the town board, suggested by the Code Task Force Committee, would only cover the administrative cost and to send out new tenant packets. So this would be minimal and essentially at no cost to the town. So essentially the rental registry is strictly so that even though the Codes Department does know which properties are the problem properties, just like we did with the vacant properties, it allows them to have that local point of contact for the maintenance of these properties to help correct a lot of that stuff sooner. And then from a town standpoint, it allows us to be able to produce information to these new tenants that move into our town. There are a lot of renters out there that jump from municipality to municipality based off of renting situations, and laws are different everywhere. So it's just a way for us to be able to inform them of the different things that are going on.
Are there any other comments? Is there anybody?
There's really no reason for the town to keep track of residential tenants. If you need to get a hold of a property owner, get a hold of a property owner. That's where the tax bills goes. This is really no need for the town to do this.
Are there any other comments for the public hearing?
Just to comment.
So this is a public hearing. After the public hearing, that's when you guys can have a debate. For a public comment. Just comments. Are there any other questions or comments during the public hearing? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing for local law establishing the rental registry? There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Alright, I do have a question. Daniel, you make a comment regarding this rental registry. Landlords are going to be required to put who their tenants are?
So it would be a request to at least put one contact, and this allows for any safety situations that are going on or anything along those lines where we're able to distribute information directly to the tenants. Because again,
But you keep mentioning how we're going to be sending out new tenant packets.
yeah, so part of the registry based on the law that is in here that everybody should have read, it's in the packet. In there it says to be in compliance with the rental registry, the landlords have to update us when new That's part of it. If they decide to give whatever information of that new tenant, that's on them. If they want to give email, phone number, name, whatever, but they have to at least update us when a new tenant is moving in, so we're able to produce that information for the tenant.
Joe, is that legal?
I haven't found it's illegal. Now, administratively, it's going to be a big burden because tenants move in and out of spaces all the time, so.
Well, from an administrative standpoint, I have my reservations. I completely agree with that. From an administrative standpoint, that's a whole separate portion. I just have a general concern of requiring a landlord to have to update the town of who's moving into properties. It's not like these individuals are owning property. Like, there's a requirement of why, and then even in some cases in that regard, people who don't want to be listed can own a property through via an LLC. And if somebody's a renter, to have to be forced to be. I have a reservation of that.
It's great. I'm not gonna, it's great. I can't, I haven't found it's illegal, but I haven't also found it's legal. I haven't found another rental registry code that requires the tenant information or that has that as a condition. So I can't.
So even at the base of it, if you don't want to require the information, just at the base of it, for them to notify us that a new tenant is moving in, that can just be a box that they check saying, hey, new tenant's moving in, and leave it at that. So the one thing that, at least from my research and my time of being involved.
That's what I asked for.
Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna answer it.
Well, I've heard enough. You're for it. I understand that.
So there are reservations regarding the administrativeness of that. I understand he's on the codes task force, the gentleman in the back, Mark, is also our planning development codes director. Your office is extremely busy, and I know that we only make you more busy as we continually pass stringent codes to allow our town to be better. One of them specifically being the smoke shop, the retail smoke shop licenses, as well as the more recent one when it comes to the fencing around our dumpsters. So I said it the last time, I'll say it again, I don't think this is solving a problem. I think this is, that the information that we're going to get from this, we actually already have. We know who every homeowner is. Homeowners are the ones who code violations go to. We can send that information to homeowners in the town. We have OpenGov that gives us a long list of the houses that are problem houses. We know who the people are that own the problem houses. Again, I don't know why we would add a new burden on our employees. So those are my 2 cents with it.
So I can probably answer a couple of those, and Mark, if you could chime in as well, because these are all conversations within our discussion, and that was one of the first things we brought up as well, is putting an additional burden on the codes department, which we understand there's a lot of things that are going on. So there are programs that are out there that do these rental registries to where, just like our vacant property registry, the codes department does minimal to no extra lift on that. All they're getting is the company is getting all the information for us. They're the ones that are sending most of the information out to inform people of the different registries and stuff that are going on. And then they're supplying the codes department with the information of any of these absentee property owners. Yeah, somebody can put stuff into the LLCs. Yes, we do know which ones are the issued properties. We do know what their information is. Of course, we can send stuff to their different PO boxes or whatever they may have on file. But there's been other things such as simple as there's a property that built, or a space that butts up to a D's Diner, and it took them months to figure out who the actual owner of that business was, because they couldn't get any of the information because it was an absentee person that was out in Colorado that had all that information for them to be able to settle some of the issues that they were having that were cost from next door. So the whole idea behind it is it's a minimal cost. There's already a program we use with vacant properties that could do the rental registry as well. So there's no extra burden. Typically, from an informational standpoint, as much as this has been, I would assume, a success from a vacant property on being able to have direct lines to property managers instead of the owners. Because when you send something to the owner who may have buildings all over different states, all over the county and stuff like that, they're not the ones that are dealing with the day-to-day stuff. It's their property managers. So by having that direct contact with the property manager, it'll help streamline a lot of those blight issues that we see. So strictly from an informational standpoint on that, that's the whole purpose of this. It's not trying to get into different people's information and stuff like that. It's literally just helping the codes department have a direct contact for the property maintenance side of it so that we can address any code issues that do pop up. And we don't have to go through, okay, we send the violation, they have 10 days to correct it, they don't correct it, now it's got to go in front of the judge. We have to hope that the judge even decides to rule in favor of the town to get that taken care of, depending on the situation, right? Cleanup orders is a different thing, but it's something that'll help streamline that process and not have to go through all those hoops and wait that long for things to get taken care of.
And I'll just say one last thing is, I also have a general concern. I do work in town hall, I work closely with the codes office. I've had numerous conversations with the department head and the codes officers themselves. Their feelings on this is going to be a burden, this is not something that they're in support of. And me personally, the fact that I have not heard a single person actually come to be supportive of this. This is not something that people are coming to my office. Daniel, in all due respect, you're the only person that I know that is an advocate for this. I have heard, though, many people who are not for this. So with that, do we have a motion to
So
vote?
I haven't, any of these people who aren't against it, no one's ever told me. All of my constituents are the ones who I have talked to about this and brought this up. I would love to hear from our director of planning and development about this, because we just had a conversation in that room saying that you were in favor of this.
So Daniel, we had a public hearing. The public hearing closed.
You have talked for him and didn't let him talk for himself.
Daniel,
Can you please let him talk instead of you talking for him?
Daniel,
I-
not only that,
I'm asking to have the head of our planning and development, who is a key piece in this, to just give his information.
do we have a motion?
You're ridiculous. I like that.
Do we have a second? You're not going to put this for a vote?
Second.
Do we have
Oh wait, that's what I thought it was.
no, the hearing's been closed.
We already
Just roll call it, please.
Council Downs?
This is a
Putting
motion
votes in.
for the rental, this is for the rental registry.
Yes. Council Hall? Yes. Council Sarah?
Yes.
Council Klein?
No.
Supervisor Brown?
No. Thank you. Next, we have a motion to open the public hearing to hear public comment on the 2026 preliminary budget.
I want to hear what you're talking about. That was a vindictive thing that you did there. That's what that was. Nothing, it had nothing to do with actually helping
Is
the
there a
residents
motion?
of this town.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing for the 2026 preliminary budget? Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye. Anybody sign up to speak?
Yes, I have Ellen Mullen.
Ms. Mullen, you get 3 minutes. If you could use the microphone, say your first name and give your address.
Do you have to turn it on?
Is it on? I think it's on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ellen Mullen,
You gotta speak in the microphone now.
Ellen Mullen, 109 Richfield Boulevard. In New York, a town supervisor's salary is determined by the town board, not the supervisor individually. This is governed by New York State Town Law 27, which gives the town board the power to fix salaries for all town officers and employees. Before the budget is finalized, a public hearing is held to allow residents to review and comment on the proposed salaries and other financial matters. These are my comments. In 2023, the supervisor's salary was $64,056. In 2024, the supervisor's salary was $66,618, a difference of $2,562 from 2023, a 4% raise. They want the supervisor's salary now to be $74,556, a difference of $7,937. a 12% raise. Who gets a 12% raise? Nearby towns, Cicero supervisor salary is $65,835. Their population is 31,218. In Clay, the supervisor's salary is 82,800. Their population is 59,122. Salina, they wanted 74,556. Salina's population is 32,945. These are my comments.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak? Is there anybody wishing to speak? Any board comments regarding the preliminary budget?
I have some, if anyone else wants to go.
For the public hearing?
Yes. Okay, so the overall budget is sound. I'm pretty happy to see that more things are coming to the third ward. And throughout the town, there's a lot of cool things that are going to be happening, so definitely be looking out for that. There is one piece, as I'm sure many of this board know, that I do not agree with, is putting almost $200,000 into repairing a pool that we have already spent multiple thousands of dollars repairing, and then adding another $100,000 into the budget just to operate the pool for 1 year. With the comment given before this approval was made to put this in the budget, you may need to raise taxes the following year if you want to keep it open. That is fiscally irresponsible. Take that $300,000 and put it into something that has more long-term potential, not a pool that is 60 years old. Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
I have one. Pam Hunter gave us $200,000 for the pool, so that $200,000 is not taxpayer money. I mean, it is through a grant program.
Yeah, so to your point, take that $200,000, put it towards something, and if we're already spending almost another $100,000 for the operation of that pool for a year, I'm just adding it together, $300,000 that we could use towards something else.
Are there any other comments? All right, I will give you some of the highlights that my town comptroller, who has blessed us with her presence tonight here, Nina, she put together regarding the preliminary budget that I think some people would actually be interested in. 7 out of the 9 hydrant districts will be seeing a one-time reduction in their hydrant district taxes, with 5 of these districts seeing no hydrant tax this year. 3 out of 5 sewer districts will be seeing a reduction in their sewer district tax. The proposed tax rate is 1.6799, offering a 12.8% tax rate decrease from 2025's tax rate of 1.9268. Reduction in the part-town tax rate, the proposed tax rate is 0.443, offering a 12.9% tax relief from 2025. And the highway tax rate, the proposed rate is 1.6437, offering an 11.1% tax rate decrease from 2025. For an example, a $150,000 house that's not in the village of Liverpool, a resident would see $150,000. You should have done $200,000. That's more like a house nowadays, but we'll go with this. A $150,000 house not in the village of Liverpool. Resident would see their town taxes drop from $382.80 in 2025 to $333.63 in 2026. And your highway taxes drops from $277.31 in 2025 to $246.56. That's a total decrease of roughly $80 for your taxes next year. A resident who does live inside the village of Liverpool and owns a $150,000 house, you would see your town taxes drop from $289.02 in 2025 to $251.99 in 2026. That's roughly $37 reduction in your taxes for next year. This preliminary budget, regardless of the spending or the salaries, which are primarily dictated by the union contract, we are seeing a reduction in taxes next year for the town of Salina residents. With the reduction in taxes, there are capital projects that we're excited to announce. We are funding 2 brownfield opportunity areas. That has been something we've been working on this year, and it will continue in the next year. Those are to identify redevelopment opportunities for vacant and underutilized properties within 2 major corridors. We will be funding potential dog parks at Richfield and Sayre Park improvements. We will be improving roads with a new sidewalk project, as well as local road calming measures. The speed tables. We are funding speed tables for next year to slow traffic in specific areas. We haven't identified exactly where the speed tables will go yet, but we have put a certain amount of money to go towards speed tables to help with, obviously, the stop signs that aren't necessarily working. Additionally, we're going to be doing a traffic calming solution at Town Hall's parking lot, because one of our parking lots is kind of a hazard with the daycare and the other businesses that are there as well. With all of these projects, we're hoping to solve some problems that people do come to the town board and complain about regularly, and hopefully it'll work. It's our hope that it'll work. The last thing is that I'll put here is, I'm going to read exactly what Dina wrote. Adding new programming to the recreation department in community spaces. We plan on obviously hosting concerts right here at the community center, as well as movie nights right here at the community center. The store behind us can open up to the public. There's a screen that can drop down to project the movies out there. There's also plans to repair, maintain, and staff 3 pools next year. We've only had 2 pools open the last 3 years. With the grant from Pam Hunter's office, as well as working with our engineering consultants, we are in a position to open up a 3rd pool next year, and we're excited about that. Those are the highlights of the preliminary budget. With that, do we have a motion to close the public hearing? Do we have a second? We can't vote on it every single night, but we can close the public hearing, so I'm going to have you do a roll call for it.
Councilor Downs. Aye. Councilor Paul. Yes. Councilor Cicero.
Yes.
Councilor Carney.
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell.
Yes. The next is to open a public hearing for public comment on the 2026 special improvement districts. Do we have a second?
Second.
Anybody signed up? All in favor, please say aye. Open. Anybody signed up to speak on the special districts? I gave you some of the highlights regarding some of the special districts, obviously, but is there anybody wishing to speak on them? Any board member wishing to speak on them? All right. With that, is there a motion to close the public hearing? Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Downs. Aye. Councilor Paul. Yes. Councilor Cicero.
Yes.
Councilor Carney.
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell.
Yes. Next is residents wishing to speak. Is there anybody signed up?
Yes, and then Teresa.
It's a little clunky, and I apologize, but you get 3 minutes. Just use the microphone, give your full name and address, please.
Tracy Robert, 201 Kirsch Drive. My comment is about, it's a very beautiful building, it's very nice to have here. I do have a couple concerns that I'm hoping may be able to be looked at before everything is done. But the limited parking and the very tight parking has been brought up in conversation with a few different people of our senior group, I'm not sure of others, but it's very difficult. Just some of the people considered even leaving our last meeting because there was not enough parking for them. So I feel that if there's so much space for green space, and I think it would be wonderful if we could find some more space for parking. I know there was talk of maybe doing something down at Big Lots, but that would make it difficult for some of the seniors. I also feel that it would be very helpful if there was another access point. Trying to come in, many of our people from this town are coming from this area, we're more south than this building, so they have to find a way up and around and come back down Brewerton. If there were an access point off of the Big Lots Park or off the street behind us, if there was some other way to allow people to come in instead of just the one access, that would be great too. Those are 2 things that I would love to see if there's some way to have that happen in the future. But the parking, I think, is something that if you're planning concerts and you're planning, it's tough for just our seniors to get here. If you're getting families and other people, the parking is going to be difficult, I feel, for people to really come and be able to enjoy. So that's my comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Two things I'll address. There are 72 parking spaces when it's striped, and I work with your Joyce with regards to how many parking spaces you need. So when it's striped, you guys, there should be more than enough spots for you guys. She's counted the cars in the past, and there's less than 70 vehicles. So I think part of the issue is the fact that it's not striped yet. It's supposed to be striped this week. Jake, who is our recreation director here, he's on site working very closely with him. The entrance point here, I agree with you, but unfortunately, we don't have any control over that. New York State DOT dictated where our entrance to the site was and what the entrance looked like, because that's a state road. So we had to work with the state DOT. In the words of Jason, how much say do we have in the entrance to this road?
0.
So I agree with you. My hands are tied on that one. So with that, yes. And the long-term plan obviously is we own the rest of the property. The Big Lots parking lot is a place where people can park. Obviously for the seniors, it's a little bit different because it's not as easily accessible from the Big Lots parking lot. When it comes to family and the rest of the general public, they can park in the Big Lots parking lot. We're going to utilize that for now, but over a period of time, there is future development surrounding here. There is a plan to expand the parking lot on this wing of the building as well. It's going to end up looping all the way around. We are just kind of in the beginning stages of the full development of this. We recognize, I think, where your concerns are. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but we're gonna get there. So
I think a lot of people that actually be like turning their car around and trying to find another place to park was tough because things were tough. So that's just.
I appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much. And Jake, hopefully you took note of it as well. Anybody else on this? Is there anybody wishing to speak that did not sign up? All right, first ward comments. Second ward comments.
We had our final trash pickup that was wonderful. I look forward to the following year. And I want to thank Jake, our new rec guy. He's doing a great job hitting the ground running. And I can't wait to see what you have moving forward.
Third ward comments.
I have a few. So, that rental registry law was the first law suggested by the Code Task Force Committee that has ever been voted down by the town board. So just keep that in consideration. Welcome to the new Town of Salina Community Center, where there is still electrical wire hanging, holes in the floors, ceiling panels not in place, hardly any furniture, no grass or lines for parking spaces, and we are already allowing our senior organization to use the unfinished building and inviting residents to come check the place out. The first day the seniors were allowed to use the building last week, the automated handicap door wasn't even working, and I'm pretty sure it still isn't. One thing a resident brought up to me is we don't even have a flag outside, which is very disappointing that a municipality would put up a building and not even have an American flag hanging out front. Fun fact, the day of the grand opening ribbon cutting, when I asked 2 employees of the codes department if a final inspection had been done, they said no, but somehow the codes department approved a certificate of occupation on 10/10, conveniently one day before the ribbon cutting ceremony that our town supervisor decided to put on. Let me repeat that. No final code inspection was done. There was a certificate of occupation given and a green light to hold a grand opening ribbon cutting. Does anyone else notice the trend of how politicians do ribbon cuttings and hold meetings in unfinished buildings right before an election for the photo ops? Yet, you, the residents, or other property owners, aren't able to do anything without codes giving you the final okay first. A question for our town attorney. What kind of risks and liabilities does this open the town up to if someone was to get hurt on this property when there hasn't been final inspections done and many things still not finished in this building? I am surprised that there wasn't an email or something sent to us advising the board to hold off on opening the building or holding a meeting here when it's your job to make sure that we are reducing and minimizing risks and liabilities at all times. Thanks.
My comments are for third ward councilor was at all worried about that. He would have said that before the meeting instead of grandstanding in front of everybody here. So way to do that, Daniel.
Well, when we have a supervisor like ours who makes decisions without the town board's decisions are done, so. Did I say I was done? I'm pretty sure it's still my mic before you did yours. So anyways, the town supervisor gets to decide how these meetings are conducted. So now my comments are done.
I'm going to apologize. Don't apologize to me for representation of the town in that regard. Mark, you and I had numerous conversations. The building hasn't seen we're good, correct? You would not have allowed.
We still haven't done a final, but all the emergency lights, the exit signs, the fire extinguishers, the elevator, all that was given, that was a temporary CBO, because you don't have a full CBO yet. The site work isn't done.
Do you allow apartment buildings to allow residents to move into them with a temporary CBO?
Yes,
When do you do a final inspection?
when they finally finish it, but there's still stuff that needs to be done here.
When the last bit of caulk goes into a corner of the building is when you'll do a final inspection, correct?
Correct.
So anybody has any concerns, you don't need to have one. You would not have done that. Additionally, I'm going to take one small exception. If you were present at the ribbon cutting, and I think many of you were, I thought it was a special day and a good day, and it wasn't about myself or Haley or Lisa or David Carney. It wasn't about really any politician except one who made it about himself and his father. But it was about dedicating a building to two individuals who gave their life for protecting us. That's all this was. It's all that day was for those families to have a moment. I think we were successfully able to do that. This building, I think, is going to stand a testament to them. It was a small piece that I think this town board was able to accomplish to show that local government can do some good. That's really all I care about. I'm going to let the rest of whatever was said be. With that, do we have a motion to approve the October 14th, 2025 minutes? Do we have a second? All in favor, please say aye. Alright, this is authorized to purchase a Gould pump for the landfill in the amount of $5,535. This is for a pump that we need a new pump in our landfill, correct?
Correct, on our stripper.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? We need the pump. I'll put it Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Rouse? Aye. Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicerelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell?
Yes. Is there engineer? Is there anything else?
Unless the board has some questions for me.
Any questions for our engineer? Yeah. Mr. Attorney, do you have anything for us?
Unless there's any questions for me.
Any questions for the attorney? Alright, the next is to approve the budget modifications and transfers. We have a series of them. We're at the end of the year, so we're gonna be seeing some transfers, obviously. We're looking at $11,850 and $5,335 to go to the post-closure monitoring pre-treatment plant. There's a lot of them. I'm gonna this is listed for the residents, right? Okay. So I'm gonna let the board members, if there are any questions or concerns with these. Do we have a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Rouse?
Aye.
Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicerelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell?
Yes. The next one is to approve the community center fee schedule. Have you all had a chance to look at this? I didn't get any feedback on it. Okay. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Rouse?
Aye.
Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicerelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell?
Yes. We'll have to vote on that again on January 1st. It's going to go over the rest of our fee schedules throughout the year. The next is to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with Rec Desk for Parks and Recreation software. Jake, you are here. This is kind of nice. This is for next year, though, correct?
They can get it going as soon as we can. It'll be built for next year.
And it's within what we have budgeted for next year's budget.
Correct.
So they're willing to give us essentially a couple months free.
Correct.
Awesome. All right. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Rouse?
Aye.
Counselor
Yes.
Counselor Cicero.
Yes.
Counselor Carney.
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell.
Consider waiving the 30-day waiting period for a liquor license for PB&J's Lunchbox LLC located at 663 Old Liverpool Road. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs.
Aye.
Counselor Plum. Yes. Counselor Cicero.
Yes.
Counselor Carney.
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell.
Yes. With that, we're done. I hope everybody does take a little bit of a tour if they're able to around the community center. Tomorrow, the senior group will be meeting here, and they've been working closely with Jake to make sure that it functions well. I'll be in a couple weeks again to see how everything's going. We're going to be working on getting things straight for you all. I hope in the future we'll be able to have another town board meeting here. I hope we're able to do it at one site. We can not obviously do it here regularly, but once in a while come over here to have it so this part of town can have a board meeting. With that, is there a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second? All in favor, please say aye. Thank you.